Hello, it is Sunday, March 12th, 2023. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Sunday puzzle today, which means a large grid, a large themed grid, and I can see little bits of evidence of the theme in the grid behind the gauzy privacy veil. We have shaded cells, we have circled cells, all kinds of things going on. But I did see one or two comments in the Daily Solve Discord chat server suggesting this is actually not a particularly challenging Sunday puzzle as far as things go. So that's nice, because yesterday's Saturday I thought that was a tough puzzle. So today will be possibly a nice counterpart for that on the other end. We'll see. But this potentially approachable Sunday puzzle has been brought to us by Jenny Montague, Lewis Williams, Camtron, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shulmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, and to all of my patrons for their generous support in bringing us this series and this channel, keeping this whole enterprise sustainable. I really do appreciate that. And if you would like to support this channel and be part of that community, you can do so by going to patreon.com/dailysolve or clicking the link in the description field underneath the video. And there you can become a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, or a patron at any level you choose and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that do go up each week. Thank you to everybody who's done that. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot, and it keeps this whole thing going. So thank you. Do also subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so. That also keeps it going. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which isn't the thing that keeps this going, but is a nice place to chat with other members of the community. And there's a link in the description field to that as well. All right, let's get on to today's crossword. This was constructed by David Tufts, who's constructed around half a dozen puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Oh, and the puzzle is entitled This and That. Of course, it's a Sunday puzzle, so it does have a title. And I don't yet know what that means, of course, but let's start solving and we'll find out. It could be turn off, or it could be turn off as in extinguish, or turn off as in sort of irritate, or something like that. But I'm not sure which. Unyielding. Stoic, maybe? Feminist writer Zhang Erica. Zhang. Turn off. Well, let's see if stoic works. Stayed, and the state isn't really unyielding. Turn off. Go me. Not crazy about it. Okay, well, Erica, I'm confident about, so let's keep going. Make a trade. Swap? Let's try the downs on that one. Stolen goods. Feels as though I know this word and I can't think. Like yarn and old film. Yarn and old film. Intermission follower, often. Act 2 of a play. Party person, informally. A poll, a politico, someone who's a member of a political party. Somewhat musically. Poco could be somewhat musically, and then another musical term applied to indicate somewhat what exactly. Oh, yarn and old film. Woven? What does that mean? Don't know. Maybe not. Woolly? Is old film woolly or woven? Something else starting with WO that I can't bring to mind. Stolen goods. More than just compact. Mini, maybe? Worn out? Yarn and old film? Could the out go in that circle? I don't know. Stolen goods. Spoils, right. Okay, as in the spoils of war, for instance. Okay. Here's one of our theme answers, clearly. One in charge of brownies and cookies / easy to understand. Girl Scouts. So brownies are sort of pre-Girl Scouts, I think. Girl Scout, easy to understand. Maybe Girl Scout leader, because one in charge, and then clear means easy to understand. I see. Okay, so, oh wow, so we have three different phrases kind of spelled out here, because we have Girl Scout leader, is the full answer to one in charge of brownies and cookies. Easy to understand. Oh, I see. Easy to understand is loud and clear. So it's the shaded cells and the circle cells, loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. You're easy to understand. Okay, great. So I suppose all we really need to do is solve the first of these in each theme answer, and then the other one will kind of complete itself. At least that seems like how it is so far. So this is one of those themes that's more of a sort of construction on the part of, it's more of a series of discoveries on the part of the constructor than it is something that we need to necessarily learn and solve ourselves. Popular French periodical. Elle magazine, maybe? Turn off, deter. So it could be sort of discourage you from doing something, deter you. Maybe not. Article in a French periodical, maybe not. Repel will turn you off. Right. So kind of you're disgusted by it. It repels you. Maybe that, because article in a French periodical such as elle could be les, which is the definite plural article in French. So there we go. And go me could be I rule, maybe? And unyielding, if you're unyielding, you're rigid. There we go. Not stoic in this case. Drink with a domed lid could be an icy, which is a blended frozen drink that often has one of those sort of plastic dome lids. Westminster competitor. I think Westminster in this case refers to the dog competition. So pure breed dog? No. Not purebred dog. There we go. A dog that is purebred. And then dance move used to teach children how to limit spreading germs while sneezing. The dab. I did not know that, but that makes sense. That's very funny. Okay, that's the one where you sort of put your head into the crook of your elbow, or your face into it. All right, game stoppers are rules or refs or something. Impatient contraction. Come on, you might say impatiently. And like yarn and old film. Oh, wound, of course. Film. Why old film? That's why I don't quite understand what that means. I was trying to think of something that would happen to old film. But I mean, if you were running film, if you shot film today, I mean, there are still movies shot on film, although obviously many fewer of them. You'd still, I mean, even if it's still wound. I think this must just be referring to the fact that film is less commonly used now, and so I guess it's old. I find that slightly imprecise, but maybe that's me being too persnickety. In any case, post-dryer chore or splendid. Folding the clothes? Does that work with splendid? Let's see. No, I don't think it does. Doesn't look right. I think folding is probably correct. Folding the laundry? No. Oh, fine. Oh, no, sorry. Yes, folding the laundry is correct. I didn't see the F over here. I just missed that entirely. It's fine and dandy. Fine and dandy is splendid. There we go. Okay. So yes, I think my initial assumption was correct. All we need to do is solve the first of these clues, and then the rest of it will fall out naturally. But actually the second one, splendid, did allow me to determine that folding the clothes was incorrect, which I might have not realized without this extra bit that serves as a sort of double check. So that is actually relevant. Stereotypical name for a female poodle, Fifi. It's often named for a poodle in, I don't know, movies and things. Game stoppers could be rains, as in a game is rained out because it's raining. Lent a hand, aided somebody, lent them a hand. Apt name for a horticulturist, Leif Erikson, for instance, who's not a horticulturist, but could have been, I suppose. Sierra Leone country, presumably. And one whom the bride and groom didn't invite, a wedding crasher. And then steal a meal is our sort of secondary answer, which is dine and dash. There we go. Yes, dine and dash don't pay at a restaurant. If one traveled on horseback, one rode, and lettuce in many a low-carb recipe, a wrap, right? You could use lettuce as a wrap as opposed to using, a tortilla or something. Okay, and if something's inoffensive, it's anodyne. And big jazz combo is a nonette, a nine-member jazz group, for instance. It smooths the way, grease smooths the way in mechanical applications. And predators whose genus name translates to of the kingdom of the dead. Yes, I've seen this before, and I find that extraordinary. Orcas, yes, of the kingdom of the dead, an extremely evocative name for that animal. TV monitor in brief. Oh, FCC, right, so a monitoring organization of television broadcasting, the Federal Communications Commission, I think. And Glass of This American Life is Ira Glass, longtime host and co-creator of the podcast and radio program This American Life. And grannies are nanas, for instance. Wispy as hair, fine hair, wispy hair. National birds of Germany, Egypt, and Mexico must be eagles. And, of course, the United States conspicuously left out since it would be the most obvious to most solvers of this crossword. Shawkat of Arrested Development. Alia Shawkat is an actor from Arrested Development. She was the character Maybe, right? And please, can't I, please? Hemingway's home for over 20 years, Cuba, I believe. Ernest Hemingway lived in Cuba. And Siddhartha Gautama by another name would be Buddha. That's the name of Buddha. Whoops, Buddha with 2 Ds. There we go. Consequently, and so, you might say. And like Nero Wolfe was the famously obese, sort of homebound detective. Emulate Rockin' Robin in a 1958 hit. Is it Bop Rockin' Robin? Probably Bops. And if one getting out early is a parolee, someone who has been granted parole from prison. And it's a stretch. It's a stretch. I don't see it immediately. Buzzer is a bell or what? What is a buzzer? A bee. Bee is a buzzer. Calculus calculation. You could calculate the area of a circle, I suppose, or maybe something more complex than a circle. But in any case, I think that's the answer. Oh, it's a stretch. It's a stretch of time and era. An era. There we go. An era is a stretch of time. And California's Blank Tree National Park, Joshua Tree, is the name of a national park in California. Poke. Jab at? I'm going to poke you. I will jab at you. I suppose that's true. Tiny prop. Oh, a tee. A little golf tee is technically a little prop for a ball. Skate park trick could be an ollie, a little skateboarding flip. And put away for now is to stow or put away for now. Why don't I see that? Brown of the Food Network. Alton Brown is a Food Network presenter. Donation Center, Blood Lab, I'm not sure, but it's somewhere where you donate blood. Put away for now. Why can't I see what this is? Put away for now. Stowed, I keep thinking, but it doesn't fit, obviously. Feature of an ungulate, a hoof. Ungulates have hooves, hoofed animals. Paris-based carriers Air France. Oh, store. You store something. You put it away for now. Sorry. Strange oversight. That was very bizarre. Happens sometimes, I suppose. It might end on a high note. A yodel, maybe? That particular kind of singing that goes up into the head voice. Steamed Chinese bun is a bow. And a blood bank, of course. There we go. Blood bank is a donation center. And ring or belt, essentially, could be a band. Tedious sort could be a bore. And something happening now happens at once. Speaker of the catchphrase, did I do that on 1990s TV, would be Steve Urkel from, was it Family Matters? I think that was the show. I created that character. Okay, behind in slang. If you're behind in... Oh, no, it could be... I was thinking it was an adjective in this case, but it could be a noun as well. A tushy, maybe? I'll leave it in for now. I'm not 100% certain. Deep cut, question mark. Not sure. The question mark indicates some bit of punnery, but there are a number of different things that each of those words could mean. Part of a goat or Africa, horn of Africa, geographically, or a goat's horn anatomically. Weapon with a spring. Épée? Does an épée have a spring to sort of help it identify when it's made a sort of touch on the opponent? It must. Praise for a diva, you might say brava, which is the feminine form of bravo. Moonfish, I think opa is a fish, and I wouldn't have probably remembered it was the moonfish off the top of my head, but with the crosses it looks right. Lee, who wrote Go Set a Watchman, Harper Lee, more famous for To Kill a Mockingbird, to which Go Set a Watchman was a sort of controversial sequel because there were suggestions it was published kind of against her will or sort of without her full understanding because of her mental state at that point in her life. A deep cut, a crevasse, so a deep cut in a sort of geological sense, maybe. And assert, if you assert something, you speak, doesn't really work. What about this? Utopia, heaven on earth. And the other clue is occasionally, poetically, which is ever and anon. Okay, there we go. That would have been a tough one to get cold, but we get it for free with that extra thematic mechanic there. So a grift is a con, a deception. And 99 Luftballon Singer, I don't ever remember how to pronounce this name, but it's Nini, I believe. I mean, no, I'm not saying I believe that's how to pronounce it. I just think this is how her name is spelled, but I can't remember how it's pronounced. Am I understood? Oh, I see. I was wondering what was going on with this YH, but it's Yehir, sort of the contraction, kind of like come on, which I think we had somewhere else in the grid. Yes, we did. We had come on here, so the same idea. All right, settles the score. Gets even, maybe? Yeah, that looks right. Not just bad, evil. Not just bad, but evil. What gerunds are formed from? Gerunds are formed from verbs. So singing, for instance, is a gerund of the verb to sing, which can be used as a noun as well. Okay. Or states, like he is singing. Continue. Go on, or goon, as it appears in the grid. See 66 across, what is that? With 72 across, post-sledding mugful, hot cocoa. There we go. And potential result of a strike could be a pay rise, maybe, if the strikers get their demands. And 3 sheets to the wind. So that could mean traveling, at the sort of maximum speed on a sailing ship, or I think it also could just mean drunk, essentially. High as a kite, maybe, because then we'd be using another sort of idiom, another idiomatic phrase in a slangy sort of way that also deals with being kind of under the influence of a particular substance. So that could be it. But let's check the crosses. Sportsman of the Century per Sports Illustrated, it was Muhammad Ali, I believe. And no party person, a loner maybe? So we had party person as well earlier with pole. So yes, we did. So some nice echoes in this grid. But let's try loner. Like noble gases, the noble gases of the periodic table are inert. I do remember that. So Don't Matter Singer, 2007. I think Acon is somebody. Let's try that. Blue in Spanish would be aqua. Is that right? And more adorable is cuter, and notification is an alert. Oops. So, no, azul probably, A-Z-U-L. That would make sense because, and then agua is water. Issue featuring celebrity issues. Oh, something, okay, yeah, so that looks right. Wait. Magazine, and repeatedly. Time and time again. Or time and again, anyway. I think is the secondary clue. So unusually, I've solved the secondary clue first, I think. So that the repeatedly bit works time and again, and then issues featuring celebrity issues. A sort of yeah, I don't know, some kind of celebrity magazine, but what is that called? I don't know. Oh, a tabloid magazine, maybe. Tabloid magazine, that's sort of strange. Because tabloid is a newspaper format. But I guess the term for tabloid has kind of returned back to magazines to deal with a subject matter as opposed to a kind of physical format, which is what it refers to in the case of a newspaper. Right. Oh, that's right, because people do say the tabloids, and then they mean kind of trashy magazines in a sort of way. Okay, so I think that's right. Most of it is found underwater. Most of it is found underwater. I don't know. Many interstate vehicles, and of course this is already taking me, it's going to have taken me longer than yesterday's puzzle, which I thought took so long, but can't get around that on the Sunday. It's just how it goes. German deli meat and discussion. So German deli meat and discussion. I'm not sure offhand. Ohio site of the first Quaker Oats factory. Not sure about that either. NorCal hub could be SFO for San Francisco International Airport. I mean, the thing is, in 3 letters, it could be any Northern Californian airport. It could be, is it SJO, I think, for San Jose, and Oak for Oakland International, but SFO is certainly the most hub-like of all of those, I would think. German deli meat. Why can't I think what that is? MLB player with over 600 career home runs to fans. I'm going to go on a limb here and wonder if this is A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, maybe? Mushy blank, British side dish. Mushy peas is a common side dish here in Britain. And spots to relax could be spas. Grassy surface could be sod. And plus could be an asset if this were a noun. A plus, an asset, something that's good to hold. And to assert something is to state it. There we go. Oh, Black Forest ham. So Nina is the 99 Left Balloon Singer. Sorry. I think I was spelling a bird. Black Forest ham. Right. Okay. I've always wondered what exactly defines Black Forest ham. And then what was the other clue? Discussion is a back and forth. There we go. Good. Okay, so that worked out. Very good. Modern lead into aid. I don't know. Gumbo vegetables. Oh, pay rise is wrong. Pay hike is what this is what the potential result of a strike would allow for. And then okras could be gumbo vegetables. Okra often used in gumbo. And go team, you might cry at a game. And Akbar's tomb locale would be agra. And then modern, oh, I see. Modern, this was all, just wanted to get back to this clue and see what this is. So modern lead into aid is haterade. I see. So, right, I haven't heard this in a few years, actually, but remember it sort of weirdly made its way into political discussion, it seemed, for a couple of years, but obviously sort of created from Gatorade, the drink brand, and the concept of hate. I don't really know why that. I don't really know what the sort of purpose of combining those two things is, to be totally honest with you. I guess maybe people would say drink the haterade or something. I don't really know. I don't know what it implies, that it's that the hate is like a Gatorade in some way, but indeed, I remember it being said sometimes. Some steel beams are something bars, and you never quite know with this. It could be I bars or H bars most commonly, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so most of it is found underwater. Why do I still not see what this is? I don't know, but I don't. Many interstate vehicles, semi-trucks. And John, known as the father of the national parks, John Muir was the great naturalist, and a childish nuisance could be an imp, a little annoying child. A vocal nudge could be a pist, maybe, sort of something you use to get somebody's attention quietly. River through Pakistan is the Indus, and a ne'er-do-well is someone who is maybe a bit of an imp. Most of it is found underwater. I see a berg as in an iceberg. Most of it is underwater, and then a little bit of it pokes above the surface. Start of many a t-shirt slogan, I Heart, which I think began with I Heart New York. I think that was the original one of those. And some steel beams are I bars. Okay, there we go. One of the two common possibilities. I see. So the Ohio site of the first Quaker Oats factory must be Akron, Ohio. And where you hope to get a good deal. A card? I don't know. I was thinking of dealing cards, or you could have a card dealership, or... Not sure. Oh, casino. Right, of course. That's the card dealing bit. Okay. Mexican capital could be not Mexico City, but rather the capital, in the financial capital sense of currency used in Mexico is the peso. And where to let a sleeping dog lie? Pet bed, maybe? Let the dog sleep on the pet bed. Why wouldn't you? And to do some taxing work online is to e-file, which, despite being a ridiculous e-term, is actually used officially by the Internal Revenue Service of the United States. So in this case, I have to accept the e-phrase, e-file, because it is indeed in common use. Words with motion or stone. Set in motion or set in stone, right? And to come to an end is to cease if something stops. Yes, gotcha is I see, and 2012 Seth MacFarlane film with a 2015 sequel. I never saw this, but there was some sort of teddy bear movie that Seth MacFarlane, I guess, must have been the one who made, called Ted, so that must be it. And Fiddlesticks is... I'm not sure offhand. What about this? They might result in booby prizes. Last place finishes, maybe? Right. There we go. And the physical discomforts are aches and pains. There we go. Perfect. That worked fine. Fiddlesticks are... Oh, blast it, maybe? Sorry, I didn't mean fiddlesticks are. I meant fiddlesticks is, as in the phrase, is also blast it, I think. You could say in a slightly archaic way, which matches fiddlesticks. Washboard features, washboard abs people talk about, and sculpted muscles on your midsection, and then go with the wind in a way is to sail, maybe. 3 sheets to the wind, perhaps. And a palm product, palm oil, was one of those things that is used in just about everything. Clicks, I agree, maybe. Does it mean clicks as in, opts in, right? So clicks on a sort of, web form or something. You opt into a service or subscription by clicking I agree. Stop running in a way is to halt, maybe, or doesn't seem quite specific enough. Stop running in a way. It could mean running physically, or it could mean running for elected office, maybe. Arduous journeys could be treks. Bloody English monarch. Mary the First. Is that what we're looking for? As in Bloody Mary, named for Queen Mary? Yes, that looks right, because home of the world's busiest train stations, 3.5 million daily commuters, is, unsurprisingly, Tokyo. All right, and am I oversharing? TMI, too much information? Question mark, you might ask. Fighting words are "it's on," you might say, to challenge somebody. And PT Cruisers, e.g., I mean, I remember that. Those were Chrysler vehicles. Right. Okay. Stop running and away. Oh, clot, as in your blood will stop running through a vein. It will clot. Oh, right, that's interesting. That's a clever clue. Many a 21st century liberal Obamacrat, I guess. It's a bit of a sort of, I haven't heard that used widely enough to necessarily assume that it would be a common way for 21st century liberals to describe themselves, but maybe. Despises could be abhors, and one might be raised on a farm. One might be raised on a farm. Oh, a barn. There we go. And Poehler of Inside Out, Amy Poehler, was a voice actor in that Pixar film. And then a coup group could be a cabal. A cabal could plan a coup to overthrow a government or something. And there we go. That was the Sunday crossword. So let's quickly look over our theme clues. We had one in charge of brownies and cookies, or easy to understand was Girl Scout leader, which contained, sorry, I find it difficult to see the shaded cells when they're selected in that way. But anyway, it contains loud and clear. Here we have a post-dryer chore, hiding something for splendid, which is folding the laundry, containing fine and dandy. One whom the bride and groom didn't invite is hiding to steal a meal, which is a wedding crasher, containing dine and dash. Utopia contains occasionally, poetically, which is heaven and earth, containing ever and anon. I like that one because ever and anon is such a specific, unusual phrase, and heaven and earth is such a great. They're both very poetic bits of language, I suppose. This is a very nice find. I find this particularly pleasurable, I suppose, linguistically. Here we have German deli meat containing discussion. Black Forest ham contains back and forth. They might result in booby prizes, hide physical discomforts, and that's last place finishes, hiding aches and pains. And finally, issue featuring celebrity issues contains repeatedly is tabloid magazine containing time and again. I mean, to be honest, these are all pretty clever. They don't involve very much additional active solving on the part of the solver of the crossword, but they're all very impressive finds by David Tufts, the constructor, I think. And Heaven and Earth has the pride of place right in the center of the grid, which I think is appropriate because it's a particularly nice one of those. There we go. What a funny little theme. And as we expect on a Sunday, the theme wasn't particularly taxing, and the puzzle itself wasn't particularly difficult. Of course, it still took longer than usual just because it's a big Sunday grid. No way around that. And I didn't actually scan yesterday's clues yesterday's comments for bits to read about yesterday's clues. And with that longer Sunday solve, I do actually have to get going. So I will hopefully return to the clues from yesterday's puzzle tomorrow if I have time, although Monday is often my most constrained day. But I will be doing it in general most days. So look forward to that. In any case, that was the Sunday puzzle. Enjoyed that. A nice, relatively gentle solve, I would say. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'll be back tomorrow for the Monday puzzle, the simplest puzzle of the week generally. So join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.